Testing 1 2. Okay, good. We're good. It's Tuesday. It's August 13th, a little past 8 o'clock in the morning. Good morning. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And I do hope that the weather that you get is the weather that you want. I think that's happening here in the Midwest, and we'll go through that. But let's check out the warnings first, watches and warnings across the country. We start in the Pacific Northwest, eastern Oregon into Idaho. Looks like we're looking at red flag warnings once again with some wind there. Fog still an issue for parts of Kansas, dense fog advisory there. That's mostly northwest Kansas. Still some flood warnings, some of that river flooding persisting. Flood watches for narrow areas of New Mexico. Then we get into that big orange blob. You go from Oklahoma into eastern Texas, the eastern half of Texas, and North Texas, into Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and into Florida. We're looking at heat advisories again for today, so an excessive heat warning for part of that in Oklahoma as that dome of high pressure builds over mostly Texas, but spreading across the southeast. So the heat is coming back, and this is just the beginning of that. Flood warnings, flood warnings for the rivers, South Carolina, North Carolina, a little bit up into Virginia, and that would include Georgia and parts of Florida as well. The weather spotlight is for my neck of the woods. So this is from the National Weather Service in Omaha, which is the weather service office that serves western Iowa as well. And so this is what we're looking for storms and heavy rain possible tonight and then into tomorrow afternoon, evening. And so tonight, starting 10 o'clock overnight, probably closer to 7 a.m. for my neck of the woods, where if you can see Harlan there on the map, in the light green on the tonight map, but could see a band of 1 to 2 inches of rain tonight. And then tomorrow, a little better chance of severe weather, with also some heavy rain possible. And so again, that's for the Omaha area and environs, including parts of western Iowa where I live. Across the surface for today, you see the heavy rain is ongoing this morning. We had a big convective mesoscale going across Kansas with some heavy rainfall, and that's going to move into Missouri for the best chance of some heavy rain for today. South Carolina still seeing some heavy rain, and also into parts of eastern Colorado. Around all of that is just scattered showers and thunderstorms, and way up there in Maine, even some showers today, and along the Texas Gulf Coast as well. Highs today, if I can read this stuff in that lack of contrast because of the dark red, but let's look at Iowa. It looks like 70s to near 80, for example. So warming up a little bit here in the Northwest. Those temperatures actually a little warmer as you head north into Minnesota, North Dakota, and even South Dakota. And so it's going to be warming up some in the Midwest, but we've been 70s for days. So it's been quite nice for this time of year. And I think that's 70s up in New England as well, Pennsylvania, New York State, into New England. And you get further to the south and the contrast gets better because it gets hotter. Temperatures in the 90s widespread across the southeast, and a few triple digits in Texas. So yeah, that's I think that's Abilene at 103 and Wichita Falls at 103, 101 for Dallas, Fort Worth, and down in San Antonio as well. So hot temperatures, 99 for Roswell. The desert southwest, of course, hot and still over triple digits. A little on the warm side for this time of year, but I wouldn't call it unusual. Mid-90s for the central valleys of California, cooler as you head up the Pacific Northwest coast, and a little warmer as you head back inland. So those are the temperatures for today. Tomorrow's surface. Here is the severe weather threat and the heavy rainfall threat for Nebraska, Kansas. The bullseye would be Omaha there for that severe storms possible. And then the heavy rainfall for pretty much the entire state of Iowa, getting into southern Minnesota, much of Missouri, into Illinois is the biggest threat on tomorrow's map. Then tomorrow morning, we start the day very comfortable in the west. Low temperatures in the 50s, even a few 40s there in eastern Oregon. And in Nevada, some 40s. And then you get further to the south, of course, warmer for the deserts and warmer where our dome of high pressure building across Texas, Oklahoma. Further to the north, a little bit cooler in the Midwest and upper plains to start the day, and very pleasant as you look at the spine of the Appalachians up into Pennsylvania, New York State, Vermont. Low temperatures in the 50s to start the day tomorrow. Very nice indeed. And then tomorrow afternoon, it's getting hotter in Texas and into the southeast. Temperature 101 for Jackson, Mississippi. We have 103 for along the Red River in Texas. So we've got some noise coming outside. Hopefully it doesn't get too bad for you. And then further to the north in the plains, we're back in the 80s, although cooler than that for the Great Lakes. Very nice. And we'll get to the surface for Thursday now. And our severe weather threat moves further to the east, so into Illinois and into Missouri, parts of Wisconsin, and the heavy rainfall threat goes with it. And a little bit further west, extending into Indiana as we get into Thursday. And of course, before the end of this forecast, we'll get you the weekend weather as well. Hurricane Ernesto, well off the coast of the lower 48, but approaching areas of the Virgin Islands and the Bahamas. So they're on alert for Hurricane Ernesto. All right, the next 2 days of rainfall is what we're looking at. I'm looking at you, Iowa, because I live there. So rainfall across Iowa is going to be anywhere from an inch to approaching 3 inches in some areas. Actually, a little more than that as you get further south into Missouri. We see some isolated amounts over 4 inches over the next couple of days there. Northern Plains getting soaked too. North Dakota, South Dakota into Minnesota. Some pretty good rains from northeastern Colorado into Nebraska as well. And then you see even South Carolina that got soaked with Debbie still experiencing some of that heavy rain. And then showers more spotty for the Four Corners, especially Arizona and New Mexico as monsoon continues. All right, taking a quick look. Well, we'll see how quick it is of the GFS model, and we'll go through how the reflectivity looks we'll take it through the weekend. And so here's that complex of storms that overnight moved out of portions of Nebraska, but really much of Kansas getting a good soaking, and they like that. So this is about an hour ago. The heavy rainfall still continuing here, even though it's on the wane as it moves into Missouri throughout the day today. Then this afternoon, and we'll see those storms bubbling up along the Rockies and in the Four Corners. Utah getting some good showers here east of South Salt Lake City. So a few showers here north of Missoula where my dad lives. Hey, Dad, how you doing? He watches sometimes. And then we have the showers now moving into the plains. So this is Wednesday at 0Z -5 is 15. Is that right? 24 is... And then, so this is this evening. And then as we move forward in time, I did a shortcut in my brain because I wasn't quite sure. Math in the morning. Some heavier rain showers moving out of northeastern Colorado into Nebraska as we approach midnight here. So this is midnight tonight. So heavy rainfall, central Nebraska, and with some trailing showers all the way down into Arkansas. And this is what will be moving through overnight through Omaha and into Iowa, also South Dakota. I'm looking at you as well, and into Missouri all the way down to Arkansas. And we see a few showers, embedded storms here. The heaviest stuff going South Dakota into Minnesota as we get into the day on Wednesday. So this is noonish, maybe a little after Central Time, moving into Minnesota. Some of those heavier rain showers, North Dakota as well. And then we see our surface low in Nebraska out ahead of that. This is our severe weather threat as we get into the afternoon and evening for tomorrow. So scattered storms, some possibly severe for portions of northern Iowa, western Iowa. That's really close to Omaha here. And again, this is a computer model, so these storms aren't going to be exactly here at these exact times. But this is how the computer model has it playing out. as we get into the afternoon and evening for tomorrow. Looks like some pretty good storms here in northeastern Iowa, moving into Wisconsin and then northern Wisconsin as well. Seeing some of that heavier rainfall and tracking right into portions of Wisconsin, into here's Milwaukee, and then back in Illinois. We're seeing some showers and storms as we get into the day on Thursday now. So this is kind of our main event here. For the Great Lakes, some lighter rain, then further south into the Midwest are chances of heavier rain and severe storms, southern Illinois, portions of Iowa, and that really kind of gets its act together. This would be Friday in the afternoon and early evening. So some pretty heavy rainfall from Chicago down through northern Illinois, Rockford, back into, say, Dubuque, Iowa, and then further south into parts of Missouri is what we're looking at. In fact, I can get myself out of the way here too. Let me do this. And you can see Ernesto down here. There's Ernesto. So yeah, let me get myself back in here because I missed you guys. All right, moving ahead on the maps as we get into the day on Friday. We see our low in the centered over the Great Lakes, moving into Michigan here with some showers in Michigan. Also some showers for West Virginia into Kentucky on the light side for the most part as we go through the day on Friday. We'll take this into the weekend. Now some more substantial showers breaking out in eastern Tennessee, parts of Kentucky, into North Carolina, Asheville in here somewhere, and then further south into the southeast. We see some showers and storms along the Gulf Coast. Now, you may have noticed through all of this, we haven't had much activity for Texas and Oklahoma because that high pressure sitting on top of you is going to keep showers and storms from forming, and it's just, you're going to bake under that sun. So I do apologize for that. As we get into the day on Saturday, kind of quiet. Our low in the Great Lakes still bringing some showers there. Now moving along the spine of the Appalachians. Yes, there we go. Into Pennsylvania and New York State. This would be Saturday afternoon, evening, and those showers moving towards the coast, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina. And then we get into the day on Sunday. We see some pretty good showers and storms, Missouri, into Kentucky, parts of Arkansas, Tennessee near Memphis, northern Mississippi. And that'll get us pretty much through the weekend as we see some showers lining up and moving through parts of the Northeast and off the coast. All right, let's go the weekend weather. Here are your highs on Saturday. And really the big story here is the heat in Texas and Oklahoma with triple digits, pretty much the entire area. That includes U2, eastern New Mexico. So 103 Roswell, 102 for Amarillo, 101 Lubbock, Midland, Odessa, 104 Abilene, 103 if I'm seeing that right for Dallas down to Austin, 101 all the way down into San Antonio. So it's just hot. Also, those rival the temperatures in the desert Southwest as well. Further to the north in the Midwest, for example, widespread 70s and 80s. And that moves into the Great Lakes and all the way to the East Coast as well. And very pleasant west of the Cascades in the Pacific Northwest. Sunday, things don't change a lot. So temperatures warming up just a tad for parts of the Midwest and further south. But the heat is, the big headline for, again, Texas and Oklahoma with those temperatures well into the triple digits. 6 to 10 day outlook looking like this. And kind of as we've been showing, that bullseye for cooler temperatures, and it has been feeling like early fall here. And that's going to probably be even more pronounced for portions of the Midwest and the Great Lakes area, with that bullseye of the best chance of cooler than average weather is going to be, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio and the Ohio Valley. So very comfortable. And then the heat, Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and then cooler than average, if this comes exactly true, for the West Coast. And then precipitation wise, the Pacific Northwest, our best chance for above average precipitation, and also for New England. And then, the Central coast, central east coast, above average chances, and slightly above average for, say, Arizona, even the deserts of California, and up the Rockies and portions of the northern plains. So that's a look at your forecast all the way through the weekend. I really do appreciate you being here, and we'll do it again tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, The Weather Mike.